Hello everyone, Garagos here, welcome back to the pit. I can't believe the speed at which this world goes on. It seems like yesterday when Armies of Great Britain was released to the public, left into the wild, and we are already speaking about armies of the Soviet Union. Because yes, today the first intelligence report came out on the World Games website, and as tradition, it is about the Army Special Rules. So let's just move to said website and see what the guys at Warlord managed to scrounge up with the Russians. Now, so far, based on second edition, usually the, let's call it a power creep of armies, was like Germany, United States, Great Britain, Russia, and Japan. Let's see if the trend continues. So it's Armies of the Soviet Union, 3rd edition, Army Special Rules. It's time to start our series of articles, etc., etc. In previous editions of Bolt Action, Soviet players enjoyed a free, inexperienced rifle squad, courtesy of the quantity as a quality all of its own rule. This has been removed as part of the wider no free units ethos of Bolt Action 3rd edition. And this is good. I really love the fact that there are no longer free units, free weapons, etc. This is a great improvement. In its place comes lack of radios, allowing Soviet players to take their command vehicles as a free upgrade rather than the usual plus 10 points, but with a correspondingly reduced command radius. Every point counts in Bolt Action, and this rule gives you the opportunity to keep costs down in your armor platoons. Just make sure to keep your tanks nice and close. What? Now, I already think, I said this before, I don't like the fact that you can give the command vehicles rule for just 10 points to whatever vehicle you want. I always thought it makes more sense if you have an armored platoon that you have to field at least one unit with the inbuilt command vehicle rule. Otherwise, why have command vehicles in the first place? Anyway, this seems like a very, 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 very silly, if not niche rules. So you are saving 10 points if you have an armor platoon. Okay. Then we have also joining the roster is Flying Tank, representing the legendary Il-2 Sturmovik aircraft. This rule makes it much more likely that the Soviet Air Force forward observer will call in a powerful ground attack aircraft and a much harder for enemy flak to shoot it down. We will have to see exactly what this entails, but now, in my opinion, Air Force observers are the weakest form of observer you can field. Plus, I don't like observers in general. I don't think, as they are right now, they are particularly good for the game. Forward Air Force observers, less so. But we'll take a look. And finally, for the new additions, we have the For the Motherland, which makes inexperienced Soviet units just a little bit better at shredding pin markers, meaning they're more likely to pass those all-important order tests when it matters most, provided they're close enough to the enemy. Okay, let's take a look at the details. So, lack of radios. Soviet tanks lacked quality communications equipment, initially relying on rudimentary communication, such as semaphore. When you give the command vehicle special rule to a vehicle that does not have it in its entry for the purposes of choosing a command vehicle for an armor platoon, you can give it the rule for free instead of paying the normal plus 10 points. If you do so, however... by the way, it's a can. It's not even you have to, which makes it even sillier. The vehicle reduces the radius of its command vehicle rule from 12 inches to 6 inches. This represents communication by means of flags or hand signals. Bah. Pointless. Flying tank. The Ilyushin Il-2 was the most produced military aircraft designs of the time, with few designs eclipsing the quantities produced to this day. The Il-2 was an incredibly tough plane and was known as the flying tank due to its armor plating. It was a deadly and feared weapon on the Eastern Front. When a Soviet forward air observer calls in an airstrike, treat a roll of 5, 4, or 6 on the warplane type table as the ground attack aircraft result. Okay, so the big blast comes down on a 4, 5, or 6. Additionally, if a ground attack aircraft type is rolled, so you have 50% chance, an enemy unit attempting to shoot it down requires 5 hits rather than the usual 3. Okay, so it's still situational. I usually prefer things that are applied. I think the stronger rules are those there that apply no matter what you put in your lists, because this just only works if you actually put down an air observer, and you still have a 50% chance that you don't roll that 4, 5, or 6. So I'm not against it. I just don't think... If it works, it's good, but it's... well... unimpressed. For the motherland, the masses of soldiers recruited from all across the vast territory of the Soviet Union often lacked in training, but made up for that with their unparalleled fighting spirit. Every inexperienced unit that has 1 or more pin markers can attempt to lose 1 pin marker if there are any enemy units within 12 inches immediately before an order is given to it. Roll a die. On a roll of 4, 5, or 6, the test is passed and the unit loses 1 pin marker. On a 1, 2, or 3, the test is failed and the unit retains the pin markers it has. Once this has been done, continue to test to see if the unit obeys its order in the usual way, even if they've lost the last pin marker. So this is Vengeance. Plain and simple. With the difference that Vengeance, if you chose Vengeance as a Great Britain player, it applied to every unit in the army. Now this is just for inexperienced troops, and if they are within 12 inches of an enemy, well, I don't think this rule will make you feel more inexperienced. It's Vengeance under another name. I think it's way more useful, the guards special rule that the Brits get, that allow you to remove 2 pin markers, but this is it. And this is what we have as Russians. Next to this trio of new rules, we've got 3 returners. These rules gave great service over the past 2 editions and will continue to do so for years to come. If it's not broken, there's no need to fix it. Scroll through to refresh yourself on the Great Patriotic War, mass batteries, and No One Step Back. They're all part of what makes a Soviet force unique. So they have a metric buttload of special units. They have 6 plus the the rest of the special rules. Okay. Not one step back. Commissars are political officers and do not confer morale bonus to nearby troops. If soldiers show a sign of disobeying orders, the commissars will not hesitate to shoot them. When a friendly infantry unit fails an order test within 6 inches of a commissar, remove one model and re-roll. No choice in the matter. If the commissar is within 6 inches, he will shoot dissenters whether you want him to or not. The second result stands. This rule only applies to infantry units of 3 or more models. If a unit has an initial size of or has been reduced to 1 or 2 models, this rule does not apply. Okay, yeah, rerolls are good. This is a solid rule, especially for, I would say, possibly regular troops, but I don't know. If commissars still are inexperienced, I don't know, this makes too much. It's too much of a game changer. Mass batteries. The Soviets excelled in their use of mass artillery, and Red Army artillery barrages were truly terrifying. When rolling to determine the fire for effect radius from the aiming point, usually d6 plus 6 inches, instead roll 2 dice and take the highest. For example, if you roll a 2 and a 5, the roll of 5 is used, so units within 11 inches of the aiming point will be hit by the barrage. Now, artillery observers are the strongest. This makes them even better if they land, because if you can good chances of blowing up half your opponent's army. Now the rule is good. It was good before. I still don't like observers in general, but the rule is good and solid. And then we have the Great Patriotic War. Throughout the war, Russian forces endured a casualty rate unimaginable in the West, and which would undoubtedly have broken a people less inured to hardship and sacrifice. Whenever a unit of infantry, including HQ or artillery models, fails a morale check and will be destroyed as a consequence, take the test again and apply the second result. This is solid. This is a solid rule, because basically it means that the likelihood of airborne Russians fail their morale check and be destroyed due to that basically negligible, and in general this is pretty solid. With the whole army rules covered, it's time to look at the second half of the national special rules. Germany has Defend the Fatherland, the US by air, land and sea, Great Britain for king and country, and the Soviet Union has hammer and sickle, of course. So there are 3 types of units. You can have whole NKVD armies/units. You can have Naval Brigade, where units must be upgraded to tough fighters for +1 point per model. And we have the usual airborne, veteran, stubborn. As you can see, the 3 options allow you to tailor your force to be the feared and fanatical NKVD, die-hard Naval Brigade, or the oft underappreciated but very determined airborne troops. It adds even more flavor to what is already a very diverse book and allows you to ensure that your weapons teams and the like are just as tough as the troops they're supporting. When you add in the wide range of Soviet Army units, you've got a book packed with list building potential. However, you want to build your Soviet collection, blah 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 blah. So we have a lot of special rules. Most of the new ones are absolutely unremarkable, in my opinion. The best one remains the ones that were already there. As usual, I don't like this whole possibility to support your units. I mean, it's strong, but I don't know, whole NKVD armies, whole naval brigades, yeah. I don't know. This is, however, this is what the new the new army book is going to contain. Now, I don't think that in my own army this will basically make any difference. Against, I personally like rank and file, plain rank and file troops the best, because one unit, in my opinion, is elite only if there's something non-elite that you can compare it to. If everything is elite, then nothing is elite. That is why full veteran armies tend to bore me, and I see so many of them. Anyway, this is the news. This is the very, very quick video for once. And I will see you soon in another one. In the meantime, as usual, be safe and ciao ciao.